Evening, Patriots. Me again, Shannon Fox here, the Voted Patriots 2 channel. Got a couple things I want to bring to y'all this evening. Just some breaking news, some really informative stuff, and the fact that Letitia James has got her ass in a bind for trying to prosecute Trump for the exact things that she has done has now backfired. Investigations have started, indictments are coming. Her ass is going to jail, like Mike Davis said, and I'll show you that before we're done here today. Uh, if you keep effing with Trump, is what Mike Davis said. Article 3 project is gonna. Mike Davis is going to throw Letitia James's Attorney General fat ass in jail. Mike Davis said this months ago on the Benny Show. I actually remember copying this clip, and I think I brought it to y'all as well. But I've got another little short snippet of it as well, and it is right on time for the fact that Letitia James, like a lot of these other Jack Smith types, Chutkin types, Egaron, all these judges and district attorneys that went out of their way to try to run Trump, tried to discredit Trump, tried to prosecute Trump, tried to take Trump's freedom away from him. Well, these folks need to understand something. Their time is coming. Their time is limited. Their prosecution, the justice against them, is inevitable, and I believe that's the fact. We're going to have probably 8 years, folks, to get to the bottom of all this bullshit that everybody's so impatient to get prosecutions on, and I'm impatient too. I want to see people go to jail. When I see that Letitia James is in the news on every single channel, that warms my heart just a little bit because I know what kind of a tyrant she was. She run her whole um, candidacy on getting Trump. She made statements like uh, everybody should have to abide by the laws. She said stuff like that. Nobody is above the law. Well, now that is going to come back and bite her in the ass like a pit bull. And I love it. I love it. But let's quit talking about Letitia James because I'll be doing that before long. Again, anyway, closer to the end of the video. But I got some tidbits of information that I thought was definitely worth sharing. And it says, Defense Secretary, here's my start my videos every day. I'm at least going to put a meme up or a quote up or a photograph up or something that I feel uh, that I want to share while I'm rattling on for the first few minutes of the video. It says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ordered all files pertaining to Benghazi declassified. That's where Hillary bleached, bit, and destroyed with a hammer her blackberries in order to hide the evidence of her whatever the hell she was doing that got people killed. It's the time for the public to know the truth. So it looks like we're going to eventually get to hear about Hillary Clinton on Fox News with maybe at least some disclosure that could possibly result in criminal prosecution. Does our government have time to prosecute people like Hillary Clinton? Because we've got a lot of prosecutions coming on. We've got a lot of investigations in process. We've got a lot of subpoenas fixed to start flying. And hopefully, in the end, we're going to get some true bill indictments on every single one of these cretins I'm talking about. I'm ready, folks. Hopefully, y'all are too. I am holding my breath with the rest of you, and I am a little impatient like y'all, but I am thinking that maybe they're getting these cases as tight as they can get them, connecting these people in every way possible because it's all somehow connected. Because most of these criminals, cretins, people involved in 150 different investigations going on with the Senate, the Congress, and our FBI against people like politicians, uh, all and the Epstein and so many different sidetracked things like you said, money and waste, fraud, and abuse, stolen elections, uh, NGOs being involved in everything you can imagine, including pumping people into this country, which is a crime as far as I'm concerned. But all these things are kind of coming together as far as the evidence and the information, and the government is probably finding out a lot of the same people control the same levers, and so It's hard to bust Joe Blow on one thing when you actually have the opportunity to do a little more work and research and get not just him and all his friends, but get them all on the biggest charge available. And I think that's what's going on. I think for political reasons, Trump will probably wait on a lot of these cases to drop the bomb on them about 6 months before midterms. That way, nobody will ever be able to forget who Adam Schiff and Chuck Schumer are when they're trying to get reelected. Because we're not only going to have the best videotapes out there about them, we're going to have breaking news even on CNN about indictments. They can't deny it, they can't hide it, they can't lie about it. When it gets to be such a big story that criminality comes into it, everybody's got to cover it. And that's where we win, folks. And people will be awakened for the first time. A lot of the leftists will be awakened for the first time between now and 2026 when they start seeing their heroes get indicted, incarcerated, and hopefully sent to Gitmo or El Salvador. That's what I'm rooting for. That's what I'm looking forward to. But let's go ahead and get into the videos, folks. Otherwise, I will talk your ear off all evening. Hopefully, everybody's having a great day. This is DNC Vice Chair David Hogg vows to spend millions to oust his own party's incumbents during primaries. Now, I read the story. I read it twice just to kind of get the gist of it because there's a little bit to it. But David Hogg is he's the vice chair for the DNC, but he's the one that's actually doing the legwork, kind of like the sergeant at arms. And he's decided that the Democrat Party needs a new look. It needs to be more progressive, more progressive. And we got too many old people in the party that are dragging it down, is the way he sees it. And so instead of, this is his logic. So this tells me the Democrats are idiots. This guy's helping their demise, and the Republicans are better off for it. So I applaud this guy's efforts to work harder to screw the Democrats over. And I'll explain to you what I mean. David Hogg said he is going to put it into play that the primaries are decided by the voters. The Democrat voters are going to actually have a say in who gets to be candidate number one, candidate number two. If the incumbent is a piece of shit and is very unlikable and hard to get in, David Hogg's talking about putting money up to help pump the candidates. They can compete Democrat against Democrat, not Democrat against Republican, that they normally spend their money on. There we go. See that? That's a win too. But they also will be two Democrats will be fighting over the seat, and he'll try to put in a more progressive guy, and he wants to not let the party decide who the next candidate is because that's the way it's been going for a long time. And the party is horrible at picking candidates. Obviously, they pick candidates which serve their purpose, puppets. Well, this guy wants the public to be able to choose their their we the peoples. Well, in turn, he thinks progressiveness is what we the people want. Even the Democrats, which maybe there are some of those that do. So, and the whole situation is for better lack of term, a clusterfuck. This guy is going to help bring down the Democrat Party by allowing the Democrat voters to have a better sense of choice, which is the right answer in their political um, choices. But it's actually going to be a destructive thing that actually happens to the Democrat Party in process of all this. Guaranteed to screw the pooch on this one. And I'm just glad to see it. That's more wonderful news as far as I'm concerned. I just thought I'd bring that to y'all. I am definitely enjoying the misery. David Hogg is a loony. And he thinks progressivism is the way to go. And he wants to push out the old people, which I'm okay with that. But to try to get rid of the old guard with a new guard going against the Republican Party for the same seats that in some cases is going to be swayed. because nobody's happy with the Democrats right now. Nobody, not even their own party. So we'll have to see how this shit show goes. But sounds like good news to me. Okay, now if y'all don't know, there's a prime minister in England. His name is Labour Prime Minister. His name is Starmer. He's a tyrant. There's a lot of things that he has done and said that it's just sickening. I don't cover much English news, but I know I do have a few people from overseas that listen to my channel. So if you don't already know, Starmer is the kind of guy, and this is facts about him, the kind of guy that prosecutes British citizens for trying to protect their daughters from Muslim rape gangs in England. And that's the truth. I've seen many a story about it. I've seen people go round and round with him, including Elon Musk on Twitter, behind his lack of morality when it comes to securing his own people. It looks like he looks out for the Muslims over his own English population. So the English people have got it bad between their government being suppressive and Muslim loving, for better, for lack of better words. Starmer is just right on board with all that. But all of a sudden, he's changed his tune. So he shows up at the White House and decides he must embrace free speech agenda or repeal censorship laws to secure a trade deal. So what's happened is J.D. Vance and Trump have initiated a situation where we're like, we'll deal with England if we have to, but if y'all want to continue to censor free speech, put people in jail for talking about things like Muslim rape gangs, uh, maybe we can't do a trade deal with you because if you don't have respect for your own population, we can't help you. So check out what JD had to say. I thought this was pretty great. This is JD calling him out.
Look, I said what I said, which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies. But we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British, of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
We discussed all this.
He's proud of their history of free speech. You know why America was founded, folks? It's because we got tired of the lack of free speech in England. They've always been tyrants over there. They run a monarchy, they run an oligarchy. The royal family and the House of Commons and Parliament run the country, and the people don't have much say in anything. And elections are shenanigans over there for the most part. Now, folks, every day for the last 3 days, I've reported on more Pentagon officials being escorted out of the building, being kicked out for leaking, suspended as an internal leak, and investigations involved. So, what's happened was over the last couple of weeks since this group chat thing happened, they found out that they got some people in the Pentagon that hate Trump and they're still embedded in there like ticks. And so they need to get in there and get out the flea spray, the tick spray, and get these suckers out. They're going to have to wash the dog, otherwise known as the Pentagon, and get all the ticks out. And slowly but surely they're doing it. I think this is the fifth or sixth uh, Pentagon official that has been relieved of duty in the last less than a week. And it has mostly been over the leak investigation because it's pretty obvious when you look into somebody and you find out how much they hate Trump on their emails or the fact that they were sharing information they shouldn't have, or they just had contempt for the whole situation because they didn't appreciate the new commander in chief. Those people got to go. Anybody that worked against Trump, FBI, CIA, Pentagon official, they ass need to go. They are irrelevant and useless to the situation. They need to be excised as government employees. Take their clearance, get them out of there, or threaten charges on them. Now, as we all know, big uh, big booty Letitia James has got her ass in a crack, uh, for lack of better words. It is now looking like Letitia James has got all kinds of implications against her right now involving real estate. So what does she do? She decides she is going to review potential insider trading in connection with Trump's tariff pause. When Trump paused the tariffs about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, with other countries, and then the stock market skyrocketed after a few days of him deciding he was only going to tariff certain countries like China. Well, it caused the stock market to do a little dip and then a jump. Well, she she is trying to now say that was an intentional way to try to get somebody rich, and so of course they're going to try to file charges against Trump behind it. Maybe that's her defense mechanism, while Trump is getting charges thrown at her through the Department of Justice. Now we'll put this one closer to the end. All right. No. We may skip that one. There we go. Marjorie Taylor Greene had a guy bug zapped out of one of her events. A little unruly, a little loud, a little stupid, and so they had to take him down. What can I say? Shit happens. This is breaking news. A criminal referral has been sent to the Department of Justice accusing New York Attorney General Letitia James of mortgage frauds. How the tables have turned. Fox News is now reporting the Federal Housing Finance Agency, FFA, the FHFA, has sent a criminal referral to the AG Pam Bondi against James. James is accused of falsifying records to receive more favorable loan terms, including for a property in Virginia that she allegedly claimed would be her primary residence. Remarkable. Now, isn't that what she tried to accuse Trump of? I think that's the same charge. Elevation of property values. We got the great James Turley on here. We're going to listen to a little of this. Here we go, folks.
Has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Bill Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence and a property in New York that she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of the required, instead of a 5, which Pulte says means she was able to get a different type and more favorable loan. Joining me now is Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor and law professor at GW University. Jonathan, mortgage fraud is rampant in the United States. There's all sorts of fraud that's rampant. There's disability fraud that they've vowed to crack down on in the Trump administration. But this is another thing that they have vowed to crack down on because it costs real money. Your reaction to these allegations?
Well, obviously, the irony is perfectly crushing. This is a person who prosecuted Trump for everything short of ripping a label off a mattress. And among the charges that were brought in New York in not just the civil but the criminal case was making false or misleading statements to financial institutions. And one of these sections, Section 1014, of the federal code is prosecuted. It took me about 60 seconds of a search to find cases that the Department of Justice brought against people who falsely claimed that property was their principal residence in order to get loans. So this is well-tread areas for the Justice Department. As for James, if we apply the Letitia James standard that she created, there'd be little question here. This seems pretty pretty straightforward. What the administration is saying is this was not her principal residence. In fact, as a New York elected official, she had to say that her principal residence was in New York. This was an out-of-state residence. But also, they claim that in some of these forms, she actually states that her father is her husband in order to file as a married couple. So there's a lot of those questions. And as you know, the Supreme Court just stated earlier in March in a case called Thompson that they want to see knowing false statements under sections like 1014, not just misleading statements. These are misleading statements. Either it's your principal residence or it's not.
Or it's not.
Either you're married to your father or he's your father. So,
long story short, her ass is busted. It's easy to prove. It's documented. There's no way around this. She's done shot her mouth off, done went after the wrong people, done bullied her way into a position, and now she thinks she gets to be a criminal that's untouchable. Nope, not going down like that, folks. This is going to be glorious, folks. I am so ready to see her ass get locked up. Maybe she's the first politician to go down. I would love to see an attorney general like this witch right here for what she done to Trump, and because she's got her own criminal issues, go to jail. Yeah, I have no love for this woman. I can be honest with you, folks. Remember when she said this?
That's simple, but fundamental pillar of our democracy, that the rule of law applies to all of us, equally, fairly, and justly. That's
That is going to bite back later. She's going to hate to see that video sent to her here in a minute when I get off this podcast. I'm going to send that to her. Send her some of her own sound bites. That's the best you can do, folks, right here on Twitter. It's a gotcha moment when you go right back at you. Now, does anybody remember when Letitia James tweeted this out? Donald Trump lied about his net worth on his statements on financial conditions to get loans for much better terms than he should have. Wow, that sounds so familiar. Like the last clip we just played. Now, this here was one of my favorite clips about Letitia James I think I've ever seen. Matter of fact, I played it a little bit on my clips before.
President Trump and his.
Check it out. Mike Davis, the great Mike Davis on the Benny Show.
I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump and his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat in prison for conspiracy against rights. I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We will put your fat ass in prison. Can't get any better than that, folks. Except for maybe a picture of the future. Look at there, folks. Coming soon to a video near you. I love it, folks. What I got for you today, most glorious thing about the day for me was the fact that this is probably going to happen. She's going to lose her job and get prosecuted. I don't think she's going to be able to resign her way out of this one, and that's how bad it's going to get. I see it coming. If they don't prosecute this woman for what she tried to make Trump spend $500 million on and be incarcerated over, which wasn't even the truth, all a spun lie. Throw the book at this creep. I'm so ready. So what I got for you today, folks. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and share. And are you ready to see Letitia James in a big